That was a disaster series there, guys. So to add insult to injury, we get swept today and we get shut out. So obviously the entire fan base is going to be in sky is falling, absolute, we're not going to win a game in the playoffs and when we make the playoffs mode. How are you feeling, brother?
Yeah, so right off the bat, we're still 4.5 games up. People are gonna be tired of hearing that, but the dread that you hear all game long, yeah, it's super duper annoying. We're not as bad as we were versus the Mets, and this game might be end up being meaningless if we play them in the playoffs because all we got to do is basically go back and win one game. So what I want to go back and talk about though is yesterday's game. The ump was terrible. The ump was terrible again today. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it
So
was the
you're
second.
being ump guy. You're being ump guy right now.
I'm being the ump guy. I'm also being the Kepler guy. I think it was the second inning. Kepler had a ground ball after Bone got on. I believe that, like, this pitcher McLean, who I swear I watched baseball all year, never even heard of this dude. Never even heard of this dude till we
He's like
pitched.
top 3 prospect for them. He was lights out
Oh
today,
my
dude.
god, dude.
Yeah, he's lights out.
So, but even still, his pitch count was so low that if Kepler doesn't swing first pitch double play, all right, now we're already getting something going. What the eighth inning looked like is what that second or third inning should have looked like a little bit. I'm not losing faith at whatsoever because the other third big thing is Schwarber. Schwarber wasn't himself this series, right? So if he's not going
No.
to hit, then yeah, you're right. You're right. We might not win games in October, but that's not shocking at all. I got a lot. I can't stand. I was so happy not to see Marsh in the lineup. I'm back. I'm back to the outfield thing again. Marsh, and Kepler. They're the two guys that are a thorn in my side right now. What are we thinking? Could we
Yeah.
still see those minor leaguers? And I'm talking about Rojas or Crawford still.
So let's take it one thing at a time here, right? So the stance of the people that are going to just say we're cursed, right? House of Horrors, all the things we're hearing over and over again. Let's kind of lean into that a little bit. So losing to the Mets does matter. It does matter more. And yes, it's only one game throughout the year, but we obviously know they're our rival. And we saw just last year we can get matched up again with them in the playoffs. So let's start with the negative to go into the positive. We were 3 for 23 with runners in scoring position. Schwarber went hitless, I believe. We obviously saw what our bullpen did. We saw what Taiwan did today. Taiwan wasn't great. So what I'm really leaning on right now is like what you were saying. This is just one series. It doesn't mean anything more than that. But at the end of the day, we know they own us, and it sucks.
No, I
And
can't go that far. I mean,
they do.
it's been a series of unfortunate events. But if we played a 7-game series, they would not be favorites. They wouldn't be. And yeah, I don't play the card much. And I'll tell you what, I can't believe we just lost 3 in a row. And yeah, I don't want to get conspiratorial, but I think I think they needed New York to be back in this race a little bit. Something was goofy. From Luzardo, the whole thing.
So you're
That's where I'm at.
so
I'm not going to be a coward and say they're better than us. I'm just not going to go there. I'm not going to be that guy.
so that is the
Something else was happening tonight.
no, that is funny, right? Because that is
Yeah, it's funny, and people are waiting to jump and use that, because it's a typical Eagles thing where people want to be just dragging the team in the mud. It's fun. It gets reaction. It lets you get your steam and your anger out of your own personal life. But really, like I said, we're still 4.5 games up. The Mets, we're going to play the Braves, who
we're 4 games up.
own. 4 games up. We're 4 games up. We got the Braves coming in, and they're going to have to play a frisky Miami team. Mets are going to have to play. I think they got the Reds coming up, and they got a couple
Marlins.
decent teams too. And it's the Marlins, the Reds, and there's a team in between those two that is escaping.
Tigers.
The Tigers, right? Tigers are a tough game, especially if you got to go out to Detroit and then come back. They have to go about 20-10, right? I guess not. I mean, what would they have to do to get into the playoffs?
I mean, their exact record, I don't know, but so you're saying,
I guess we're in
I'm
the
sorry.
magic number. That's my question. What's the magic number as we stand? What's the magic number? Because we gotta start peeling away at that number.
No, but the biggest thing is, look, we were going back to, right? If we're not going to sit here and accept the facts, you're saying that the Mets don't own us, you're not going to buy into that. But here's the reality, right? Last year in the playoffs, the Mets were better than us. When I looked at that team at that point in time, they were better. Right now, I do agree with you. We're still the better team, but I don't know what that was in Queens these past 3 days. I mean, we were
Yo,
wetting ourselves.
I'm totally with you. And the one major red flag, and we touched on this previously on another podcast, is the Wheeler thing. Okay, it's the old when there's an emotional cause and people rally to support something. All right, you can use that momentum for a week. I think we kind of saw that, especially with the pitching staff. But now there's no Wheeler coming to stop any bleeding. It's going to have to be Sanchez. And where we're at with Sanchez is he's only stopping bleeding if he's home.
Yeah,
You get
and
my
then we
point
got
there with
Steve in
Wheeler.
the
There's
chat
two
saying,
things.
to
We
quote
lost
the
the moment.
great
We
Pedro
lost all that good
Martinez,
faith
the
momentum,
Mets are our
and
daddy.
then we don't have him as the ace anchor in ourselves.
Right, we got a lot of chat activity here. So I see Steve, I see Jose Perez. Philly's
I'll
already
tell you.
planning for the offseason. Yo, do you hear me, bro?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're coming in and out, so it's all good though.
No, it's been,
You're
I don't know
good
what the
now.
hell's going on. I think because we're streaming on Twitter and YouTube right now, and
We're just
everything's
staying
been
with the
wonky as
theme
shit.
that bad things happen to Philadelphia and the people who support the Phillies. That's where we're at.
All right, here we
They're
go.
not going to bless us.
We're
You sound
Gucci
good
now.
now.
Sorry. Yeah, I couldn't. It was the stream's been wonky on my end since we're going on both, but we'll plow through here. So let's just take a step back here, and if you're new here, welcome to the Red Corner. We're kind of just going on a quick little impromptu post game stream. We don't do this too often, so it's a bare bones stream. What we'll call here. So on our last pod, Slim, we basically said, look, if the Phillies win that series, we're calling the year. If we get swept, things are going to get interesting, right? So give me your just overall. We're getting a little repetitive here, but we got new people coming in. Where are you at? Are you full? You're going to flush this?
I'm full. I'm full. I already flushed. I'm already over it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the attack tomorrow. Anyone who is going to be naysaying the Phillies, you got to straighten your stuff out. You're out of line. Okay. First and foremost, are there concerns? Yeah. The biggest one being we don't have Zach Wheeler anymore. All right. And that is a concern. He is the cream of the crop and he is gone. I Slim love the pitching depth. I love the pitching depth, but it's not the same when he's not there. He can't stop the bleeding. We lost the momentum of the good faith, goodwill vibes that we had a week ago. Who's going to step up now? I have no idea because I don't trust Sanchez at all on the road. Every time he's on the road, it seems like there's an issue. There's always that one inning, and sometimes he can stop the bleeding and maybe let up 1-2 runs, but some other times, like the other night, it falters and it gets out of control. Secondly, these umps were not on our side. They got the call from the ghost of Buzz Seeley. Okay, I know they did. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm happy we don't got to go back up there. If we do got to go back up there, we start Sanchez game 1. We go whomever, Nolan maybe game 2, and then we had to use Mr. Risky Biscuit himself, Ranger Suarez, for game 3. And hopefully we can just steal one because that's the only real conversation we can have right now is if we see them again in New York, can we muster the energy and the guts to steal one? And I hate to say it, but the team I saw tonight, they didn't have the guts. So they're going to have to find that guts before October.
All right, so let's talk about some of the big headlines this series, right? So let's talk with your boy, Alec Boehm, and the 19-minute delay when he saw that microphone that was reflecting in his eyes. What do you make of that? I think that was a loser energy moment. Obviously, Boehm didn't know it was going to be a 19-minute delay, But the optics, if that happened on the other end, we would be crushing the Mets.
I'll tell you what. All I was told, and Bohm has that energy. He showed it again tonight. Yeah, that was ridiculous. The funniest thing that comes from that is, and I wish Bones was with us now. He told us it was going to take about 20 to 30 minutes because it was a union job. So we knew we were going to have to sit back and wait for that to get done. Maybe Bohm has some inside information because it seems like the Mets have something on us, man. There is something going on up there. That shot that Vientos hit on Banks tonight. Come on. Come on, Banks. Banks was the man. And now all of a sudden he's letting up moonshots.
Your boy, big boy Banks. So there was the comments Bryce Harper made with Sanchez tipping, or at least they were on him. You didn't see that?
No, what did he say?
So after the first game where obviously Sanchez flipped out in the dugout, was kicking the trash can, and post-game comments, Bryce said the Mets are really good at reading signs and stealing pitches and all that. And then Jason Stark kind of co-signed that today and said there's something behind that. So that's something for us to keep an eye on. If the Mets are just, as Steve in the chat said, our daddy and are reading the signs, because you're right. They were all over us. I got the numbers here. So the run differential of that series was 17. Game 1, 13-3. Game 2 was obviously closer, 6-5. And then game 3, we got shut out 6-0. So we got crushed. Today was probably ugliest.
Right.
But yeah, absolutely crushed.
But there was times, look at even tonight, that Remuto, it was 3-0. That ball was way outside. And next thing you know, he's popping up or he's making an out. And don't get me wrong, I know it's 6-0 at that point or whatever. But baseball, runs can happen fast. They can. They come in bunches. And that's the other thing. This Mets team, if they're hot now, they might not be hot in a month. That's all I can really say at this point. The other thing is when you talk about the tip and pitches, it's funny that when Lazardo's doing it earlier in the year, when Corky Romano's doing it earlier in the year, we cry about it. And then we turn around and we try to use it again. So when I see Jason Stark saying that, I just say total loser energy, bro.
I think it's loser energy. And Steve in the chat saying here, are we the only team that tips pitches? I swear I've seen it more this season than ever. Dude, it's been like that's what happens. It's this, Steve. You're a smart baseball man. It's the Twitter effect, Steve. When one person on Twitter sees another person say something, everyone becomes the repeat. And everyone just keeps saying it and saying it and saying it. It's the tip pitches, the year of the tip pitches. It's ridiculous. But Slim, you hit on this, and this jumped in my head, and this is what I'm concerned about. The Mets have been playing horrendous. They've been on one of the worst streaks for a fan base that you can possibly see. I would hate if this series, and hell, why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't this put them back on track? They just swept the number two team in the National League and the number one team in the division.
Right, but there's a couple things that happens when Slim's working out. Right, it's been a long time, but when I work out, I do a 45-minute workout on the elliptical, and then I keep it simple. I either do upper body or lower body, and I go as hard as I can. When I stop doing that, I get sick. Right, if I stop for a few days, or if I have a heavy week and I don't do if I stop walking for a couple days, I'll get physically sick. My point being, the Mets are probably so high and dopamine rushing right now, they're going to crash. They got to come and play Miami, and they're not going to get up for Miami. And Miami, they're playing for contracts and all that. Then they're going to have to travel out to Detroit, and they're not going to get up for Detroit. All right, so it is a blessing in disguise that we got swept.
All right, so
it could be.
Here you have it. You come to the Red Corner post game for the dopamine analysis that Slim breaks down. I love it.
We need something. Like, how are they going to lose? Because if they just beat our butts, they should absolutely crush the Marlins, unless that dopamine crash comes.
Yeah, exactly. So let's go to the next hot topic. I touched on this a little bit. Rivalry pack. So that was obviously a really hot topic. I don't need to give a background on it. If you're listening to this podcast, you know about the rivalry pack. Slim, where are you on it? Do you think we're going to see this more in the future?
Yeah, the rivalry pack was it was the only reason he didn't correlate, he didn't link it up with anything particular, which was kind of silly. But it was predetermined months and months ago. That interview was months ago. And same thing, once you start working, you're not thinking about what you're wearing, you know? So I don't think it was a big deal at all. We have grown men crying about what another grown man is wearing. I don't give a goddamn. Just don't care. It's for the kids, right? It's not for you. So if you're calling up to these other alternative, to me, these are alternative media now because they're not on YouTube or they're not crushing it on YouTube. But if you're calling up on the, the shows I'm talking about,
Absolutely.
and you're crying about rivalry packs, get a life. Get a life because it's about what happened on the field and then what happened the next day. He looked fine. He got a hit today. He's fine.
Slim, if you heard my little rant, I use one of your terms, NBA. It's a non-baseball activity.
Yeah,
So
I did like that.
so that's definitely in a non-baseball activity category. However, we know anything Bryce Harper does, it's going to get the headlines. They know this. They know when they say his name. Listen, we see this on our socials. When we say Bryce Harper, or if Bryce Harper's in a thumbnail, we get some more clicks. But
Right.
we have integrity on the red corner, and we don't play that game.
And I just think Harper, like he does it for the kids, and he misses out a little bit on taste. You know, I just don't think he makes the coolest things.
What do you
But also,
think? But again, what do you think his angle was? Because that's I love to get psychological with this stuff. So what was his angle? I haven't heard him comment on that.
I think he just like he does that influentials, like those videos in the off season. I think he probably thinks, oh, this is going to be a nice little cut thing that's going to be on this media. The kids are going to see it and think it's cool. Like it might start a trend. Like, oh, if I'm playing this local school, I might like taunt them wearing their color cleats. You know, it looks like it's like trying to. I don't know. Okay, I don't know.
But so you think he was trolling the Mets as opposed to like giving them flowers or
No,
like giving respect?
right. I would say it was more of a go kids, and then two with the troll job.
Okay, interesting. So we got our boy Jerry in the chat saying they are absolutely laughable. The MVP was 0 for the series. Jerry, yeah, I mean, Schwarber was lost that series. It was brutal. And Ryan A in the chat saying that Bryce's angle was cheese ball. Yeah, I mean,
Right, but it's only cheesy because I don't know if it's the red and the blue colors are a little cheesy with the Phillies, and then we got the green with the Fanatic. So we
yeah,
got some funky colors there. But all the stuff he does is cheesy, but the kids love it. You see all the kids rocking the headband. So it's like I said, it's not for us. It's not for 35-year-old men. It's for your kids. It's for a 8-year-old.
right. All right. So next big headline, Luzardo, right? He was looking really good. This is actually a classic Luzardo start. Goes 5 or 6, looks like a Cy Young candidate, and then falls off the cliff, right? And the biggest headline that series was the rookie ump that struggled all day, as you alluded to earlier. And then at the very end of that, it got very, very not made for TV, right? And Luzardo, if you read his lips, he says, wake the F up. This isn't the minor leagues, talking to the rookie ump. What did you make of that? Did you like to see some fire, or did you think he was too distracted all game?
Two things. He said post game, and I'm going to steal this take. It might have been Ricky Bottaligo. So kudos to Ricky because I do believe this psychoanalysis. If he's a laid back guy and he's erupting, that means he lost his cool. That means he's not in the game. You know, all right, you can give him a little bit of leeway since he's already exiting the game. You know,
Sure.
so there's not much to lose there. But he said post game that I'm usually calm and cool. So all right, then you're admitting that something's is eating at you right now. So that's not a good look. What did you think? Because then what I really take away from it, because what happens every single time, this is what happens. The same people who are going to be flipping out tomorrow morning are the same people that want Topper to flip out every single time a fly lands on Bohm's bat, you know, and they just have to stop. They just have to stop. Topper he's the opposite of Luzardo. He's not losing his cool. He's not losing his demeanor because at the end of the day and the end of the season, this game, okay, we might not know how meaningful this game was until 30 days from now. That's just the way it is. That's baseball.
No, listen, that's a very sober take. And when you said what did I think, basically you're asking about like Topper not doing anything, right? And that's always the thing that people
Uh,
say. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm actually going to steal our co-host Bones' take on a lot of this stuff, right? Aaron Boone. When you see him do it too much, it loses its flair. I think Topper definitely is on the, cautious, calm Canadian side of managing, but also I think he picks his spots. And if he was flipping out once every 2 weeks, it wouldn't have as much impact when he did it. So I think that's very I'm old school like everybody else, but him
but
going out there
I
and
need
flipping out's not doing anything.
I need someone in the chat to explain to Slim though. Besides his temperament, and I know you want to see more passion. A lot of fans. What else don't we like about Topper? Because I'm still riding with Topper. I still think this is I the next 10 days will say a lot. All right. I want to see two more rotations of Sanchez and see what he's looking like and see what this rotation's looking like when we get to about September 11th. Right? September 11th. I'm hoping that we're close to putting an end to this. I still think we can.
Yeah, and Ryan A in the chat saying Topper saving it for the playoffs. Yeah, I'll take that. What
Well,
else you got
here's
for me, Slim?
if he does blow up in the playoffs, if we're down, if we're playing in New York and something happens and we're it's an elimination game, yeah, then Topper has to. At that point,
Yeah,
that's when you can show it. If he sits there and it's something like last year, I think it was it the bone foul ball that he sat there and
yes,
just watched. If it's something
yes.
like that, then yeah, I'll be here popping a blood vessel. There's no doubt about it.
And the other thing he knows, right? He doesn't have the benefit of having the next game storyline, take that over the next day, right? If it's the playoffs, if he sits on his hands, it's going to be talked about the entire offseason. So I think he's a little bit more conscious of the impact of all of that. Steve in the chat saying Topper's post game BS has he said a bad thing. He hasn't said a bad thing about Romano at all this season. He can be so over the top ridiculous. Just say the guy doesn't have it. That's fair. Yeah. Listen, the handling of Romano this season is strange. It's strange. I don't know what else to say.
So it seems to me that he came off his injury. He conned us of $10 million. He never bounced back. In his interview, they asked him, "Do you think you're going to pitch again?" And I took it like not just pitch for the Phillies or the minor leagues, but his career is probably done, right? Like it has to be done. Like and then his entire energy in that interview, he was like just knowing he's not performing. But yeah, I think it's one of those. You had a good run, a good career. I think you're done. I think he's done, and it stinks because they're probably looking at him. I mean, I know he got the money, but he just came back from rehabbing, right? So he just took a year to come back, came back, and he was awful. So it has to hurt.
It
But
hurts.
it, but
Jerry in the chat saying that Topper over manages the pitching staff minus Nola, Wheeler. They all get too much leeway. All right, let's move on to the next headline, and then we'll kind of see if the chat activity and see if you have anything for us, Slim. Duran. So now we're in a little bit of the honeymoon phase is over with Duran, right? And we've had a handful of, hey, this guy has not been perfect starts. And he's been appearances, rather. And he's been getting hit around. He hasn't been getting as many strikeouts as you'd like to see and swinging as much as you'd like to see. What are you thinking? Are you worried about that?
So I'm not really worried about Duran. The one thing I would say is some of those balls were salted balls, a lot of singles. The second thing is, and we've talked about this before, and it's not just the Phillies, but if you don't, the Phillies had a trade for Duran, and then as soon as they had that entrance show, which is awesome, him throwing 103, that has to be juice, bro. That 103 has to be juice. I never
You're
seen
saying that's fake?
Yeah, I think I have to call it out now. I don't think I've seen so many 103 fastballs get smacked around the field. You're
Well, you
right.
saw that 104 that Sanchez threw,
Sanchez,
right?
and after that happened too, I went, "What?" I was like, "Holy, these are the fastest pitches in MLB history." Some of them.
Dude, if I
So
was Sanchez, I'd be playing it up. Like, no, that was actually 104.
yeah, so that's where but I don't have any real concerns there. I still think he's extraordinary. That I think he's fine.
Yeah,
No
I
real
sure.
concerns there. And we actually saw Strom look pretty good last night, was it? So that was nice to see.
That was nice to see. So the Bohm Mike in the chat saying, "Hey Slim," and he's also following it up with Alec Bohm gave away the NL East to the Mets. So we got a
Yo,
Bohm hater in the chat.
yeah, that was unreal. No, we're not there yet. And Bo might still have big moments. Yo, can we give a shout out to Bader? Bader's defense is extraordinary out in center field. He has to be playing every day. Um, yo, I'm back to put Nicky C back in there every single day. And like I said, I think I still want to see what we can do with by default Marsh, but Marsh is like in a slump of slumps. So I'm not ruling out those, like I said, those guys down Lehigh Valley. I'm back on that. I'm back on that train for sure.
There was a little bit of Twitter buzz going around that saying the team needs a spark, and then everyone was putting pictures up of Crawford. I don't know if you saw
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything yet. That would be I it's back to the same conversation. I know the next thing. Holy heck. Um
What happened?
I thought I was charging my laptop here.
Your laptop about to die on you?
Yeah, I got my plug right here though.
That's fine.
Um
Mets started with 7 games. Now we're down 4. So let us know where you're at. This is a little bit of a therapy session. We want to see how you're feeling. Tell him to grab. Tell him to grab my while he's at it. We got some slim love in the chat there. I'm doing a little research on what Slim's asking me. But yes, let us know how you're feeling. Yes. Yeah, so it's 26. Must get so 26 active players who must be on the team's 40-man roster. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so of the 40-man, 26 active.
And let's tell the truth. Since the MLB, since it was just me and you the last time, the Phillies have been crap. We came in here, we talked about Schwarber, dark horse, MVP, maybe be the favorite. If we stay ahead of the Dodgers and maybe make a play for the 1 seed, he's been awful since. Last episode, I talked up Banks. He's been awful, not awful, but he had that big shot today, which was a complete mush job by me.
Yup.
Over the weekend, I crossed 100 units with my slimming partners, and since then, I'm now down to 77 units. So I'm getting smashed, and you absolutely know the Phillies have been a part of that. Yeah. So trust me, when the Phillies are down, we're down. We're down. It's not fun.
It's not fun. It's not fun.
And
Go
we
ahead.
got a busy week. This is a holiday weekend. Okay. So I don't want no one. I got to tell myself this. No one should ruin their holiday weekend because of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Well, the Mets had other plans for you on that front, man.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so here we are. We got 20-something games left. We are up 4. The vibes have changed tremendously. What do we got? Is that the invite?
Yep.
What, did you send it to the wrong address?
God only knows where it got sent to. But this is what happens. You send one wrong invite and you got one of these texts. You now have to go through anyone who didn't immediately reply back and ask them if they got it. So yeah. That's that. My days are long and my nights are restless.
So let the listeners in on the that a little bit there, Slim. Obviously, that's your wedding invite, right?
Yes, yes, they're my wedding invitation. So I had
Yeah.
to, the classic send them out. I once we found out that I messed up 2 invites, it became a whole double checking every single person.
Yeah, that's I don't envy you that you're going through that. What else you got for me, man? I mean, obviously we've been going for about 30, solid 30 right now. Anything
Hey,
else you want to go off your chest here?
just look, the Dodgers are still the favorite to win the World Series. At this point last week, their record in the second half was worse than the Colorado Rockies. Okay. We just got done running through winning 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3 for a long, long time. The last time we got swept, I think it's happened 3 times this year. Um, the Mets, the Astros, and that terrible Pirates series. We always bounce back. With that being said, the people the issues that were beginning of the season are still the issues now. +1 because the extra issue is Wheeler. So we'll see what happens,
Yeah.
but I'm still confident. I don't think they'll catch us.
Yeah, so let's go. Like, I love how let's go macro. So it's very easy to get super micro and focus on what just happened, right? We just lost. We got swept by the Mets. But as Slim just alluded to, if you take a step back in August, I believe the Phillies have only lost one other series in the entire month of August, which I believe was the Red Series. Every other series we either tied or won. We just lost the Mets series. Yes, Wheeler has gone down, but Noah has looked pretty good in his last start. So these are some of the positives. And 4 games, we got another 4 games at home against the Mets to get a little bit of this bad taste out of our mouth. So,
And this is the series look. I'm going to call it now.
yeah,
Uh, it's Miami. The Mets are going to Miami. Then they play Detroit, or maybe Miami's coming. Miami's going to the Mets. Then the Mets are going out to Detroit, and then the Mets are going to lose at least 2 games to the Cincinnati Reds. It's coming. The Reds are going to get that last final spot. The Mets might not even be in the conversation. I'm not even sure the Mets even get in the playoffs still. I'm really not. Slim doesn't think they're getting in the playoffs.
no. And guys, if you are new
They
here,
wish they could play us.
if you are new here and you're one of this is the first time we've kind of simul streamed on Twitter, we're going to do this occasionally on post games. Sorry if this one was a little bit rocky. I think the connection with the 2 streams is something we're going to have to battle through. But if you're new here, hit that subscribe button over on Twitter, and please hit that subscribe button over on YouTube as well. It helps us. We are a all year long Phillies podcast. So, welcome.
Yep.
Slim, I
Absolutely.
think
All
that
year
does it here.
long.
Any closing thoughts you got?
No, we got a busy week. We got a lot. It's already Wednesday. So Thursday, great. We got more Phillies baseball. Then it's Friday. It's the weekend, holiday weekend. Enjoy yourselves. We're going to see you Sunday night, right, Devo? And then
Monday.
Monday, we got a big. But are we going live Sunday night?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I thought you were about at the thing.
No, so guys, there's more Red Corner this week than in previous weeks. We're going live Sunday night. The chat's going to be open, and then Monday for Labor Day, everybody's off. We're all meeting down Love City Brewery. They're open from 12 to 8 p.m. They're going to have DJs spinning vinyl. They're going to have free water ice. There's going to be discounted pilsners for all the Red Riders during the Phillies game that day. So come check it out. It's going to be a ball.
Well said. All right, guys, we will see you soon. Go Phils, and sorry for that loss.